I want to welcome everybody to episode 2.5 of The Bridge. We're calling it episode 2.5 because we recorded episode 2 last week and it was unairable.
Why was it unairable, Taylor?
It was unairable because I said things about a very good friend of mine that I don't feel comfortable posting on the internet.
I'm surprised that... Never mind. We won't go into it. What's in the cup, Taylor? What's in the cup?
I want to just note that the 0.5 episodes of The Bridge are always better than the whole numbered episodes. Alright, what's in the cup? First thing I want to note that's in my cup is Tampico and vodka.
What's Tampico?
Tampico is generic, what's it called? Generic Sunny Delight.
I'm kind of upset that you don't just splurge and get the name brand when you're coming over to my place.
When I was at the BP in Bright, Indiana, which is the only place to buy anything in Bright, Indiana, there wasn't name brand Sunny Delight.
Like, I surprised the booze, or supplied, I can't even talk. That's embarrassing.
This might be the drunkest we've ever been on the cast.
And I approve.
I approve as well.
I've been drinking tequila all night long. This is Justin Calhoun.
J-Cal.
And despite the tequila, I decided to switch it up and go with Sky Vodka and iced tea for the rest of the night.
If you want to follow J-Cal on Twitter, it's at IamJCal.com.
There's no .com.
I just give a Twitter handle and an address and a web address all at the same time. All right, I want to intro our guest because.
But does he need an introduction?
No, he needs no introduction. But I want to make a point while I intro him.
Okay.
When you play Magic, you meet people. It's what our game is about, and this man is a dear friend of mine,
and mine as well,
and Jake House as well. But he's actually been like a relatively important person in my life. I'm gonna expand on that. He's been a very important person in my life.
Are you gonna cry about it? Because like
I might because I love this guy. I've told him I loved him. He knows this. This is not anything new to him.
I'm thinking about it and I'm tearing up myself. There's nothing to be ashamed of, buddy.
And this great game that we all play, that we all enjoy, is one thing that brought us together. And I consider it the reason that I still play Magic. Because hanging out with him is always a great time, and it always revolves around the cards.
Alright, that's enough build-up.
Enough build-up.
I don't need all this.
Alright, for those of you that listen to Untapped Cast, that is the Jur.
Yes.
Jur, do you want to do your own intro now?
Yeah, I am J.R. Wade. I write for Gathering Magic, and I also am a co-host of Untapped Cast. You can find us at untappedcast.com. You all know that stuff.
Right, because if they're listening to this, it's because you guys plugged us, basically, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, you probably downloaded this because Jur shouted out on Twitter.
Yeah.
I mean, it might have been Medina. Who knows?
I hope it was Medina. He's probably not giving us a bump until he's on the cast.
He'll bump us. I buy so much stuff from him.
Really?
Yeah.
He's not giving you the bump. I've never gotten the bump. You're not getting the bump.
What?
No, never gotten the
That's
bump.
upsetting. I'll just buy from you from now on. Fuck that guy.
That's right.
Do you think he didn't...
That's right, you heard it here first. If Medina doesn't bump me, fuck that guy.
Alright, can we... I know that there is a forthcoming adventure from you. Can we talk about that?
Sure. What adventure is this?
The one that you and John Medina are doing together?
Oh, legit MTG?
Yeah, can we talk about legit... I know you've done, like,
I thought we were going to go to a deserted island and do something crazy and fun when you said adventure.
That's later on in the year, don't worry.
God, I wanted a hat and a whip.
But legit MTG used to do Deal of the Day. Is that coming back? I loved Deal of the Day.
Deal of the Day should be coming back, hopefully mid-September.
I want to ask you, because...
Is it going to be special for, like, 9/11 to be patriotic?
Oh, God, that's such a good idea.
Probably not.
Hopefully unrelated.
Well, I like to joke about things that are really serious, like a bunch of people dying.
You could sell a tower at a discount.
Like Urza's tower? Is this across the line?
There's a line.
No line.
There is a line and we crossed it.
No, but we're going to commemorate the towers on legit MTG by having a tower Deal of the Day.
So we're going to commission Klug Alters to do the painting?
No, we're going to burn an Ali from Cairo, Ob.
Oh my god.
Wow!
I can't. That is what just happened.
That was over the line. I wanna.
I'm sorry, Sky.
I wanna say booyah to all the people that rioted in Egypt and changed that government around because I thought
that is badass.
No,
I'm all for that,
dude. I'm all about political revolution. Like if you're an oppressed people, I encourage you to revolt.
Go Rebels.
Yeah, go Rebels. We're gonna search them up. We're gonna search them up, and we're gonna search up our first real topic before this devolves too quickly.
Oh my god.
Thank goodness.
Did you see me get there?
Yeah, I appreciate that.
All
right.
Jer, you never said what's in your cup.
Oh, my cup is vodka and what'd you say it was? Tempori? Was that what it is?
Tampon?
Tampico.
Tampico, yes.
Although probably on a dare I would suck vodka from a tampon.
Oh my god. And that is what will happen on episode 3, folks.
All right. Do you guys want to go with the light? Do you want to go with the light topic first or the heavy topic first?
They're all heavy when you're this drunk.
I'll let our guests decide.
Oh man. Light first, heading to heavy. Well, let's just
All
do
right.
it that way.
The light topic is: what are your best and worst prop bets?
Oh my god. All right.
Never been involved in one.
Never been.
Call.
Okay, tell
You've
me
never
one.
been. I've
known
remember.
you for the last 10 years of my life?
How old are you?
Maybe not 10.
Seven at least.
7-ish, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I rounded up.
Okay. You've never been involved in a prop bet at all?
No one.
I
no
think
one ever
that's
wants
probably true.
Yeah, nobody really likes me, so I don't get asked to do things like this.
Right.
Basically,
I
Jer's got it right.
like you quite a bit, but I think the fact that you haven't been involved in a prop bet just proves what kind of vagina you are.
Right. Well,
No,
the closest thing I've been to a prop bet is Jer and I used to get drunk at the Clifton House and wrestle in the front yard, and the winner just got the glory. And since I'm a lot smaller than him and weaker than him, I lost every time.
To be fair, it was usually J. Cal's idea.
Oh, it was my idea. But I just, got my ass handed to me. It was fun. I kind of think that if we ever get to the point that we do a video podcast, we should relive that.
No.
I would love that.
That's not happening.
I want to get
Here's
the
the
big,
thing.
oversized boxing gloves and do that.
That's fine.
Rock
I'll do
'em,
that.
sock 'em.
We'll do that. We can even get the oversized sumo suits.
No, that's across the line.
No, the oversized boxing gloves I'm down with. The sumo
Right,
suits
the
are
sumo
like
suits you just bounce into
yeah,
each
you
other.
just it's too protected. I want somebody to
Right.
be able to get hurt.
All right.
I like it.
Let's do it.
The thing you have to understand is that we are all grown adults. All of us has a responsible job and bills to pay. So it's really funny to think about two grown adults duking it out in somebody's
I think
front
it'd
yard.
be funnier in the sumo suits. But whatever.
All right, fair enough.
Well,
All
if
right,
it's dark, it's going to be hard to see who gets knocked out of the circle. I think it's going to be...
We could do it in your basement.
There's not enough room in my
We clear
basement.
this room out. We just make it happen.
We'll think about it.
All right.
all right. So prop bets I've been involved in. I have to say the best one is one that I lost because the way John Wade got on this cast is we were at a restaurant in the Midwest. I don't know if it exists other places. If it does, shout out to them. But Quaker Steak and Lube, and what they have is what's called a lube tube, and it's 100 ounces of your favorite draft beer.
And they've got a fair number of beers on draft. It's not like you get the choice of like Miller Lite, Bud Light, and Bud. I think you can do like Killian's and
Yeah,
there's some
so
other
it's
things too.
Killian's.
Killian's is what we did.
Okay.
And the bet we talked about was the 100 ounces in 2 hours. Given a little research, we found out this was ridiculously easy and wouldn't even be a challenge.
I knew that from the beginning. I was just going with it.
And you should have gone with it because you got pretty drunk.
I did.
What the bet ended up being was 100 ounces in 1 hour. And the ends were, if Jer finished the 100 ounces in 1 hour, he got to be on our podcast twice without censoring.
Correct.
Little did you know we don't censor anyway.
I knew that before I found out what their podcast was totally about. So the uncensoring part was pretty much superfluous.
All right.
God, that's a good word. I like that word. Can you spell it?
Superfluous?
Yeah, like right now.
Superfluous.
High five for that, buddy. Yeah!
If we were on Twitter, we would hashtag it, the drunker I am, the smarter I get.
That is true.
Okay, I have a question though. As I understand it, when you guys were initially working this out, the server would not serve Jer one lube tube by himself because that was too much beer for one person, and they were being like really dumb about it. Wasn't that true? That the night before,
The policy of the restaurant is to not serve the lube tube to one person.
which is bullshit because they'll serve you like 10 beers, I'm sure.
I mean, depends on the server, but most likely. Let's give the server some credit. They might cut me off.
Yeah.
I mean, they serve 32-ounce beers. The thing is, I don't think they cut me off after 3. And after 3, I'm at, what, 96 ounces?
Which is like 96% of a loop tube, right?
Right, exactly.
They're on the wall.
They might. I don't know. We didn't find out.
We're going to find out where that limit is.
We skirted the system. Excuse you. We
Agreed.
skirted the system.
Yeah, look at all the spikes on the thing from the sneeze. That is really loud.
For those of you that want to get into podcasting, Audacity is the program. And we have plenty of audacity here on the podcast.
Yeah, here's a fun story about Sam Stodd, who's a good friend of mine.
Did we finish our last story? Can we finish these prop bets?
This is how this works.
Oh my god.
George on the podcast for the first time. He doesn't understand how the segues work.
This
are none.
Is a segue. You just talk about one story, and then you go back to the first story, and by the time you get back to it, no one cares about it, but then you keep going with it.
All right. So Sam Stodd.
Sam Stodd, I'm like, how do I make a podcast? So I message Sam Stodd, I text him, I'm like, what's going on? How do I do this?
At In Contention, to follow them on Twitter. It's the In Contention podcast with Sam Stodd and Matt Kranstuber.
And what is Sam Stodd? Is he at Sam Stodd?
I think it is.
Yes, Sam Stodd is at Sam Stodd, and Matt Sam Stodd, SAMSTOD, and Kranstuber is
at K-Stoop.
At K-Stoop, KSTUB.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you... I don't know if...
is it E?
Yeah, there's an E on
STUBE.
Yeah. The guy's legit.
So I asked him, and I was like, so
I
what's
also
going
follow
on with
his
this?
sister.
We're not touching on that. Continue.
I was like, so what's going on? How do I do this podcast business? And I'm like, what do I need? And he's like, you need a microphone and Audacity. I'm like, we got plenty of Audacity. We'll be fucking drunk. And he's like, no, Audacity's the program, you donk. And that's how we got here today.
All right, so what was the end of the bet? We're going to go back to the original story. What was the end of the bet if I won?
Oh, I had to, just shamelessly promote your podcast for, the first 5 episodes. Just pretend like I was really into it.
So all I got was a downgrade from 5 episodes to 2 episodes, because he's clearly going to promote the episodes he's on, right?
We'll see.
I hate
Depends how this one goes.
All right, so that's the best prop bet I've ever been involved in. Now we're going to talk to somebody. The reason I bring this topic up is because it's actually a feature on the Untapped podcast. Prop betting, is it not?
Yeah,
True
we do.
False?
We prop bet a lot. I try and get. I'm definitely the most degenerate gambler among the group, so I try and get more prop bets going than anybody else. But
are you actually the most degenerate gambler, or are you just the most degenerate gambler that's willing to gamble? Because the rumor is John Medina doesn't gamble at all because he loves it too much.
Yeah, he told. Oh, it's not because he told me this once. He has an addictive personality, and if he went to the boats.
He would never leave.
He would never leave.
And, I respect
He would probably beat the system, and he would make billions, but he wouldn't be able to spend it,
right,
so he wouldn't be able to leave.
I respect the fact that he can realize that about himself and not engage in that activity.
Oh, yeah, I wish I could.
But I have...
He's a bigger man than myself.
Yeah, fair enough. But I don't think I have an addictive personality, but I have an obsessive personality. Which is different.
Really the same?
It's not, because... What? What? No?
Can we have a guest star?
No, we can't.
Okay.
There's no guest stars. If you don't know, this is filmed before a live studio audience.
So I just
100%
picked
of the time.
I just picked a member out of the studio audience, and Jervy did.
I just obsess over things. So, I just wanted to figure out how to play blackjack. So I obsessed over it for 2 weeks. I read a lot of books. I read some websites. I did some trainers. And then I just went to the boats and tried to figure it out.
What do you mean Rain Man did it? And he was a retard.
I am not even touching that.
Do you have your little card?
Can I
tomorrow?
What do
your
you
blackjack card?
I don't have my preferred gambler's card, no.
No, the blackjack card, the one that tells you what to do.
I don't need that anymore.
But I do.
Well, I've got it right here.
Okay, we're playing blackjack.
You've memorized it?
For the most part.
Could you do it as drunk as you are right now?
It's real. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to. I wouldn't want to, but I probably could. I bet I could. I bet I could probably recite most. We're gonna quiz me? Is that what this is?
No.
Okay.
I'm just wondering how drunk you can get and still feel comfortable playing blackjack.
I'd rather just do it sober, which is what I'll do.
Obviously. Yeah. I'd rather have sex with women sober, but that doesn't mean I've always done it.
Is that because you have to get them drunk for it to happen? I don't understand.
Oh, God.
He doesn't have to. He just chooses to because it's easier.
No, it's usually that they're so ugly that I have to be drunk to get in there.
right.
And this is why we're unedited. For little gems like that.
All right. I bet I could have a few drinks in me. I wouldn't want to be plastered. Where I am right now, my problem is I get braver when I get drunk, so I take a little more risks.
High five, all right.
So I probably don't want that to happen when I'm gambling with money.
So we were talking about potentially having a trip to Vegas in the fall. Would you be potentially down for that? At some point in time?
When were you going to tell me about this?
We talked about it when you were in Vegas with us.
I'm the one that you have to tell first because I make the least amount of money out of anybody on this podcast.
It's not really planned. It's just in the abstract. We talked about it in Vegas together.
I would be interested in either the spring or the summer, but the fall's too close.
Fall's too close.
We just have I have a lot going on, so
Okay.
I probably couldn't do it. But I would do spring or summer
So,
definitely.
It'd be a great way to meet fans. Like, come out to the casino, watch us be degenerate.
No, what we should do is
Fans in Vegas?
no time
Yeah.
out, time out. You guys gotta listen. What we should do is wait for Grand Prix San Diego or LA.
There's actually an SCG event in Vegas coming up.
Oh, are you real close?
Like in November, October, November. Hang on,
I mean, that's too
I'll find
close.
out.
I can't swing.
I'm gonna be honest. If I go to Vegas, there is a 0% chance that I will be at a Star City Games event.
No,
What are you
but what
talking
we
about?
could do.
You could take you do a 4-day weekend. You could go up Thursday, do Vegas for 2 days, and do Star City for 2 days.
Yeah. No, but my proposal is that we take a week, do Vegas for 5 days, and then the whatever Magic event for a couple of days, and then fly back.
5 days. You want to do 7 days in Vegas? I
No,
will have
no,
nobody
no.
left to my name.
Here's the thing. I lived in Las Vegas.
10 times the amount of money to your name.
I like how you think.
I lived in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You want to do exactly 10 days in Vegas because especially if
Lifetime or in one?
no,
sitting?
no, on your first try, because
Man, I did
in
it wrong.
7 days there's too much to see and do, because there's a lot to see and do in Vegas. Believe it or not, like in that 3 miles stretch, there's
The Strip, is that what we're talking about?
Yeah, in the
Okay,
Strip.
yeah.
Well, like this, I include what's it
Define the
called?
Strip for us. I've never been to Vegas. Where is the Strip?
All right. One end of the Strip is a hotel called the Mandalay Bay, and it's actually the Mandalay Bay is a hotel, and then the hotel. It's called the Hotel at the Mandalay Bay.
Yeah.
Which is their suites, and they don't
All right.
have a casino
There's
in that
way
hotel.
more detail than I wanted. All right. The Strip is from where to where?
Mandalay Bay to the Stratosphere.
Okay.
Those are the two ends of the Strip in
Right.
my mind, and
And how many casinos are on the Strip?
fuck
Like over 10?
80
over
billion.
over 20.
Over 20. Okay. So we're on the Strip. What do we do?
You walk around, and then those guys
well,
hand
like-
you the little stripper cards.
Yeah, the prostitute cards.
No, like there's shows. First
Yeah,
of all,
if you actually collect them all, it's a buy one get one deal.
Really?
You have to get all of them though. No, you have to get all of them. Have you ever gotten all of them?
yes,
Really?
10 times over. I have a binder with them in them.
You have
You
a binder full of stripper cards? Do you trade? Is there an underground trading community for stripper cards? Or no, I'm sorry, escort cards.
Yes.
I think this is a wonderful transition to the next topic.
What?
Here's the topic I really wanted to cover while Jer was on the cast.
Okay.
And the thing I want to cover is the fact that Jer is a shark.
Sure.
Now, shark is the troll term for value trader. Would
I
you
don't-
say that you're a value trader?
I do trade for value on occasion. Yes.
Would you
On
say
a
you're a dealer?
All right. Would you say that you trade for value on more than 90% of your trades?
It's hard to do on 90% of your trades. I would say that.
Oh, time out. All right, this is something I didn't know. You're not trading for value. Like I thought
Okay.
people traded for value 95% of the time, and the only time you weren't trading for value was when you're trading with a friend.
I can't speak for every shark, but what I can say.
Thank you for using our terminology. That's such a welcome thing on the podcast.
Okay, so I can't speak for every shark, but I know that I approach every trade that I'm going to try to get value out of it.
Okay.
But if I open their binder and I'm just like, wow, they have a Time Walker, an Ancestral Recall, I understand that they're probably going to get value on me. Like,
Then why do you do it?
I don't understand.
If they're going to get value on you, then why would you trade them for that?
Can I answer?
You can go ahead.
All right. Here's what I think. I think the answer is that when you take in a piece of power like that, you're hoping that you can get more value on the out than you lost on the in.
That's exactly right.
God, I'm so good. Woo!
How are you really taking a hit on it then?
You're not. I'm not saying you're taking a hit, but what I'm saying is, Okay, I'm trading a bunch of standard and legacy cards for this,
Ancestral. Can we do an ancestral?
Sure, ancestral.
What's an ancestral worth right now? Let's do Mint Unlimited and Beat Up Beta. Mint Unlimited.
Mint Unlimited is like $5.50.
I dare everybody to go to a Star City right now so they can laugh at Jur if he's wrong.
Okay, fine. They're about $5.50.
Okay, Mint Unlimited $5.50. Beat Up Beta. We're talking about beta that has a completely white corner.
I'm not as familiar with beta.
And the top edge has spider webbing on the back.
And I ran over it with my car twice.
No. We're talking about actual damage. Like this is real damage to a played card. There's one corner that's messed up, and there's spider webbing on the back. What's it worth?
I would say around 8, but I have to check because I'm not as familiar with dealing with beta. There's just so little of it. You don't come across it very often, so I'd have to check.
Okay, so you're saying what is the ballpark?
I'd say around 8.
Around 8. So we'll give him the ballpark of 700 to 900. Is that fair?
That's fair.
Okay, 700 to 900. If he misses the ballpark, you guys get to troll him on it.
You get to trade him for his ancestral.
I don't have a beta ancestral. Like if you want to.
All right. So you're
taking
in this beta ancestral that you think is worth 700 to 900, but you're probably gonna look up on your phone, which you're doing right now. Look it up. What's it worth?
I'm looking. It's really hard to get signal in JCal's basement.
It's weird because the wireless router's right there. You could touch it.
I'm not connected to your router. I'm connected to the Verizon wireless network. Shout out to Verizon. Thanks for your smartphones.
The password to JCal's Wi-Fi at his house is Skinkman.
I cannot wait till some pedophile drives by, pirates my internet, and then you're like, "What happened to JCal? Went to jail because somebody pirated his internet, downloaded some kiddie porn,
Just
and he got nabbed for it."
Drew's laughing so hard right now. Nobody's ever gonna find where JCal lives to find this router.
I live in Lawrenceburg, Indiana.
All right, so a much played beta. All right, for record, much played beta ancestral is 700.
Wow, you fell within the range, sir.
Of course I did. Was there any doubt?
Yes.
Well, on your part, not on mine.
I didn't doubt you.
I did. All right.
Well, I'm gonna buy cards from him, so I don't want him to think I think he's a douche.
So what you're doing is you're trading all this standard and modern and legacy. Modern is a huge thing right now.
God, if I could trade modern for power in a heartbeat, all day, every day.
Why?
Because modern's on a bubble.
All right. So what is the way to deal with a product that's on a bubble?
Get rid of it.
All right. So I mean, obviously you get rid of it, but in order to get rid of it, you have to take it in, right?
Generally.
I know that you've taken in some modern in the last 24 hours. 48 hours.
Yeah, I have, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So the plan is?
I mean, I just take it in at what it's worth, and then I hope to get a little bit more out of it when I want to take it out, because I find someone who really wants it.
So, when something's hot like that, like, obviously you have the legit MTG thing.
Yeah.
And, alright, I'm going to be completely honest. I watch him deal as both his own entity and as a company, as legit MTG.
I trade out of my own personal stuff, and that's different than when I trade for legit MTG. Because when I trade for legit MTG, I have to operate as what's good for
the business.
And then when I trade as a person, I can do whatever I want because they're my cards.
Right.
Yeah.
So when you're taking stuff in as a business,
yeah,
and it's hot like modern right now,
right?
A bubble both means that it's. First of all, it's hot. It has high velocity. You can move it quickly, right?
That's the hope.
That's the hope, or is that the truth?
It depends, because we're on a bubble. We don't know when the bubble's going to burst. So I could take in a card today, and then tomorrow they can announce from the Vault Shocklands. You know.
All right.
You heard it here first. From the Vault Shocklands, predicted by J.R. Wade.
All right.
Yeah.
So
whatever.
is it the truth that we don't know when it's going to burst? Or do you, as a dealer, have an insight as to when it's going to burst because the Pro Tour is going to happen, and you have examined trends before that, and you know what's going to happen?
Okay, when you say inside insight, are you saying that I have like a track at Wizards, or?
No, I'm saying that you've studied the trends.
Okay.
From other, I mean, here's the thing. At big events, shit has high prices. Take Japanese foil / Panthers at Vintage Worlds. Right? that was just the biggest fucking bubble there was, right? Because they're worth maybe $5 to $10,
sure.
and at that Worlds you could trade them for $100.
but you're compressing everything into like a 24-hour span because there's only one tournament a year where it really matters.
Right. So after Worlds, the bubble bursts. Right. Or
but-
after the Pro Tour for Modern, bubble bursts.
But what you're asking me to do is expand that over months because this Modern bubble has been going on for about 4 to 6 weeks.
It's been building.
Yeah, and it could continue after the Pro Tour.
You think?
I don't know.
That's my question: is can it continue after the Pro Tour, or should I dump before the Pro Tour?
You should dump whenever you can dump. The bottom line is if you can get value on the trades that you've made, you should always do that. Because value is value. Like, you can't think about things as much in if I hold on to this for 2 more weeks, I might be able to get $10 more. Because if you hold on to it for 2 more weeks, you might lose value. But if you can make it for sure $10 instead of 20, why would you not make it for sure 10?
Because you're greedy.
Then you might lose. But if you make the 20, you're going to look like a genius. I understand that. But I like money in my pocket. I'd rather have money in my pocket than potential money in a card.
All right, can we flip to? All right, the premise here is, Jur was once a PTQ grinder, correct?
Correct.
All right, so imagine you're back in those days.
Yeah.
And you're on this Modern bubble,
Sure.
and like you're halfway between where you are now and where you were then. Like where you were then was trading very minimally.
I traded when I needed cards.
You traded when you needed cards,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. Now you're trading for value on every trade.
Attempt to.
You're
Right.
trying to, unless you're obviously
trading up.
losing value on a
Right.
trade up.
Yeah.
Um.
Well, I
So
don't try
let's-
to lose value. I try and
You're
make it
trying
even.
to
Try to
keep-
get as close to even as possible. You know.
Right, but you're willing. You're
I'm willing to lose a
okay.
little
With,
value.
you're okay with losing value.
Sure, because I think
Not
I'm gonna
willing to, but okay with.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it.
Okay. Imagine I'm just trying to collect Modern stables as a player,
Sure.
because my whole problem with Sharks, with
Yeah.
you,
With me. Okay.
my problem with you
Mhm.
is that you're making it hard for people who just want to play the formats to play, because
and
there's so many people picking up cards and speculating and trading and trying to gain value on these bubbles, etc., that it's really hard to play. Like, there's a store that has Modern Mondays, and I don't have a deck to go
Right.
and play because
Just play a standard deck. It's legal in Modern.
JCal, fuck off.
All right. So can I?
How do
respond
I?
to- Can I
What's the best way for that person to act?
Okay. Well, I would like to first respond to your point of saying that we're bad for the market. Can I do that?
Yeah, and I'm going to leave the point open for rejoinder. For those of you that weren't in debate,
Rejoinder?
for those of you that weren't in debate club, I'm gonna define
I
the
was
term.
in debate club, and I don't remember that.
You don't know what rejoinder is?
I went to nationals.
Are you
my
just saying you
first
get to
year.
respond after what I do?
Well,
That's a rebuttal.
No, there's point, rebuttal, and rejoinder.
Okay.
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 Go ahead and explain what that means.
Do you think that there's point, counterpoint, rebuttal, rejoinder?
When we
I
debated, it was
honestly,
like,
I don't
whatever.
care. We're just gonna
Yeah.
have this discussion.
This is what happens when
Yeah.
you're drunk.
All right.
All right. So,
So,
I want to make a point after you're done with your point. So how should that person act? All right. My point is that sharks
Okay.
are driving up the market.
you're asking how should a person act right
Your
now in
brother's
the metagame.
leaving.
All right. So there's this we have this Modern bubble right now before the Pro Tour. If you have a store in your area that's playing Modern on a regular basis, as is your case, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so you have Modern Mondays at this local store. You want to play. What you do is you either pick a cheap deck and build. I mean, like Vesuva Post, 12 Post, whatever you want to call it.
By the way, we're talking 1,200 or 120 on 4 Vesuvas alone.
Yeah, right. But Vesuva's going to be like that deck is going to be contender for as long as Modern exists as a format, most likely.
Okay.
It's the Tron of the deck, or the Tron of the format.
Okay.
You can pick up a cheaper deck like that. It doesn't require any shocklands. Your major investment's going to be the Vesuvas, which I do admit is going to be about $120 right now.
On 4 cards.
I mean, do we just want to do a breakdown of the deck? Like, is that going to be your argument? The 120 cards?
I'm saying that a $40 card is very hard for any.
It's a $30 card.
Okay, a $30 card is very hard for any player of any format to want to play that format. In the mana base, we're talking about the mana base.
Like we just had a standard where an almost $100 card.
Yeah, Jace was a format. Like, Jace was a card,
Like-
and that was twice that for a card.
Right. I'm just almost to the point that, like, if you want to play Magic, like,
You bite the bullet.
Yeah, you just sink some cash.
Okay, I mean, let's just break it down.
Okay.
So we have Vesuvius. Are we gonna play? I mean, let's just go where you want to go. Do you want to play mono blue or mono green?
Let's play mono blue.
Okay, so mono blue. What are the other cards in the deck? We
Bribery.
have that's in the sideboard, and we have 2 to 3 copies.
Okay.
Correct.
But are sharks driving up bribery?
I mean,
Are you picking up bribery? Are you personally, you and Legit MTG, the company that you own, picking up bribery because you think it's going to be hot and modern?
I'm picking up bribery right now because people want bribery.
Right, it's hot already. They don't need to speculate because people are already paying it.
Exactly. Like, there are buy lists that are very hot right now, and that's the reason we're picking them up. So we don't have to pick up briberies because we think they're going to be hot. We're picking up briberies because they already are hot.
Okay.
So, all right, let's just talk about the main deck, and we'll talk about the sideboard. Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. So we have the main deck. We have 4 Vesuvius, $120.
Okay.
Rest of the mana base is Cloud Post, Glimmer Post, and Islands.
Right, I can search
Correct.
through the commons box and find this.
Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, Cloud Post are probably going to be $1 or $2 now because it's a format. You know, Glimmer
Et
Post.
cetera,
It's-
right,
Glimmer Post is still a draft
I'll
common.
search through my draft leaving.
Yeah, you can find
it.
Glimmer Posts. Cloud Posts are going to be a little harder. Islands, easy. So we have that. Then we're going to have Emrakul, Ulamog, and Kozilek in some numbers. Up to 4, we're going to have some number of those.
Right.
Right? Those are between 12 and 15.
Can we call it 75 even on all those?
That's a little high. They're 12 to 15 apiece. So if we have 4, a lot of decks play 3, but if we have 4, we'll say the absolute max. We'll say 60. Because Emrakul's probably 15,
Right.
and the other ones are 10 to 12.
Right.
Okay, so we'll just say 60, giving absolute max on all values. So we're at 180.
Right.
Okay, then we have and the other rares in the deck would be, what is that? What's the land that finds other colorless lands? Is that Eye of Ugin?
No, well that
That's
finds
correct.
any
I've-
colorless creatures.
Right.
And then the thing that finds a lot of decks play the expedition map too.
Right. But that's a common. I mean, we don't have to worry about.
I'm just
Eye of
saying.
Ugin, couple bucks, right?
I'm gonna let Jer finish describing this deck while I go to the bathroom.
Okay. All right.
Welcome to drinking while podcasting.
So we have Eye of Ugin,
You can just go outside there.
Can I?
It's dark, yeah.
and that's a couple bucks. The other rares would be All Is Dust, which $5 or $6. Three copies is another 15. All in all, to summarize, we're talking under 400, possibly under $300 for the whole deck.
Right, and I think if you're not willing to spend that on a format, you should draft.
Because that's cheaper than most standard decks at this point.
Right.
And that's a modern deck. I mean, maybe not the most competitive modern deck, but it definitely, within the format, competitive.
Right. And see, I don't know. I don't really have much compassion for people that are like, I'm not playing a format because it costs too much, except for maybe Vintage.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, Vintage is a whole other beast.
Right.
I mean, I love Vintage. I would play Vintage more often if I could, but that's a whole other conversation.
Right.
Because you're a member of the bourgeoisie.
I don't believe that Vintage is...
Oh God, I was worried you were going to say you don't believe in the bourgeoisie.
See, Vintage
God.
is one of those formats that has a high initial investment and then is not as bad continuing on out. Because you can play, English non-foil versions of cards, and, what's a Thorn of the Amethyst cost? A Thorn of the Amethyst is just, a couple bucks. And that's, the only, that and Phyrexian River are the only real cards that came out in the last, year.
Slash Panther,
It's a common.
Mirror Battle Sphere.
I mean, $1?
These cards are all high value.
If you're willing to play English non-foil versions of Vintage cards, once the initial investment happens, it's pretty cheap. I admit the initial investment very high, but if you're willing to do that, Vintage is not as a continuing format is cheaper than Standard.
I agree.
Okay. So after
All right,
my
so-
tangent's done there. Okay.
So you were at 600, 700 on the.
We actually said
modern
3 to
deck?
4.
4.
3 to 400.
Oh shit!
Well, we didn't take into account sideboard.
All right, so can I have a
I'd say
$150
5 with sideboard.
budget
On
on,
the
the sideboard?
I think that's a little generous, but I
Can
think
I
we're
have a
gonna be
$100 budget on
we're
the
gonna be
sideboard?
sub $100 on the sideboard
All right, so we'll say 500.
for an entire day.
Right.
That's fine. Yeah, we can do that.
Because I want to build the deck and I'm in need. So like I'm gonna pay a premium on some of these cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like that's what you guys do.
Right. Well,
Like when you see a player a half an hour before a tournament that needs a card, are you salivating or not?
when someone says they need a card, it completely changes the entire
Tenor.
texture of the trade.
Man, I got like totally derailed. Klug from Klug Alters just walked in with a pizza right as Taylor said, "Are you salivating?"
Same.
And I was
and
like-
I'm actually salivating.
And I'm like, man, this is just the biggest blowout.
This is one of the benefits of living in Cincinnati. Is it like
Can you guys bring the pizza down at least? Like, can you do us a little favor?
There's, like,
we have this
really
whole
no pizza
we have this whole table right
Really?
here.
There's like 2 pieces left.
That's okay.
So make it happen.
good? I don't have to
Throw
buy
us
in
those
then.
2 pizzas.
There's a piece left at most.
One of the benefits of living in
What did you
Cincinnati
guys do?
is
We
that you.
devoured it.
Yeah, this is getting dry. We should kind of.
All right, one of the benefits of living in Cincinnati is that you regularly hang out with many Magic celebs. So I'm here with a Gathering Magic writer, is 2 Gathering Magic writers, because Eric Klug writes for Gathering Magic as well. He's the famous altarist. He did the Mosaic Lotus. What's your other most famous piece, Eric? After the Lotus.
Guru Moxes, probably.
Oh
yeah.
God, the Guru
Guru
Moxes
Moxes.
were just insane. I
That
don't know
was-
how I forgot those.
And while he's not here, we can give a shout out to Mark Larson, Legacy Superstar. He attacks with 2 3s better than anyone I know.
Right.
But we're not going to say it when he's here because then he'll yell into the mic and be a total donk.
All right, we got to move on. So
Let's move on to the heaviest topic. We're already at 36 minutes.
No, I mean, like, I would just like to conclude that Sharks, while, I mean, you could make the argument that we might increase the price of format, but at the same time, we do make it easier for you to find cards for format because we have the collections that allow that to happen.
here's the way it used to work.
Okay, how did it used to work?
Before John Medina started writing, I was a PTQ player. It used to be that I would get every card I could from my friends. In any cards I needed, I would head to the one scumbag in the back of the room that I knew was going
Like
to
Slick
take...
50.
God, there's this guy Slick 50. He's probably fucking in jail, taking it up the ass. But I would head to the back of the room to some scumbag like Slick 50, and we would trade, and I knew I was going to get taken. I'm so jealous of the Jur right now. He's taking the last piece of pizza. And I haven't eaten anything in a couple hours.
They're sharing pizza like mouth to mouth. It's just like if you watch a baby bird feed its
It was
mother
more like
bird.
Lady and the Tramp, to be fair.
That's true, I guess. Yeah, Taylor's clearly the tramp.
I'm a whore, by the way, so if you're cute and you want to get laid at a Magic
All
tournament-
right, moving on. We're not using this as a dating service.
Which leads me to my second point.
No, time out. I'm
Brian
not done.
Kibler, if you would like to hang out with Taylor
Whoa,
Gunn,
whoa, whoa.
I will give you his number. He just
If
would
he,
love to.
I mean, if Brian Kibler had any sexual fantasies, I would fulfill them.
All right, no comment. Moving on.
All right, moving on. So you would head to the back of the room and you would talk to this guy that you knew was going to take your money. Like, people knew it. It's just that nobody published it. And what John Medina did was like, here's how those guys make their money.
yeah, now
and
you
he did-
10-year-olds taking your money.
And now, literally, I had a 13-year-old at Gen Con
Did you
shark
ask
me.
him his age?
Yeah, I
Did
did.
you make him show ID?
No, but his dad came up and sharked me further.
Which was awesome.
Yeah, it was hilarious. You were sitting there. Don't
I
act
was.
like you don't know what was going on. His
I
dad
mean,
came
maybe
up.
he looks young.
His
That's
dad
all I'm
came
saying.
up, and here's what I do. Here's the only way I know how to combat sharks. I trade for cash. So when a shark is taking a valuable card from me, I trade for shit like Elvish Archdruid and Captivating Vampire at $1, because you can sell that to a dealer at $1. His dad came up and got his Elvish Archdruid valued at $1.50. And I'm like, fuck my life, dude. Go away. Your kid knows what he's doing.
All right, here's the thing.
The kid had a binder full of like misprints and miscuts, like the sharkiest binder I've ever
Oh
seen.
my god, it was like,
Well,
"Dun,
you're saying
dun,
that
dun."
you're saying that the guy's dad got these cards valued higher. A card can only be valued in a trade if you agree to it. If you say I don't want to value that at $1.50, then you don't.
I needed the card. Here's the thing.
And that's
You
what he
needed
out.
something.
No,
You needed
time
it.
out.
Okay.
Time out. Here's exactly what happened.
There's
He
a
picked
feather
the card he picked out from my binder was a Sacred Foundry. He's like, "What do you value this at?" I'm like, $10, which was the right price at the time. At Gen Con, Sacred Foundry, $10.
At Gen Con Friday night.
Friday night at Gen Con.
Maybe. I'll give you a little wee. Okay. We'll agree.
All right,
there's a $10 card in your binder. We'll just say that. We'll just make the whole thing easier. There's a $10 card in your binder.
Okay, there's a $10 card in my binder.
Okay.
And I start pulling out, and I needed like a $4 or $5 card from him for my EDH deck.
Mhm.
And so I was just making up value by trading for cash.
So you've already said that you needed a card.
Which
And is
automatically
that
means you're going to be
that's
taken.
that's your whole thing? Is that now John Medina has written the Lord has spoken. Need nothing, and you shall never get taken.
Right.
I'm just saying, I don't think you should speak about the Lord that way.
So
As far as value trading is concerned, John Medina is the Lord.
maybe. Probably, yeah.
I've heard that Jer's better.
You're the one in business with him, so
Yeah.
you tell me.
I've heard that Jer's
He's
better.
okay.
I'm just saying.
He does things all right.
If John Medina was trading for your virginity, would you allow it?
I don't even know what that means.
I just couldn't think of anything more valuable than your virginity.
I don't
Your
even know
anal virginity, it still exists.
Whoa! Whoa!
How do you know it does?
We're moving on. We're not even engaging in this topic.
And that's what you get for an unedited podcast.
Oh god.
I'm on. I don't even know what to say. All right.
You're on tilt.
So,
Would
no,
you say
I'm not tilted. I'm not tilted. So
Yeah.
we're trading this $10 card, right?
Right.
And you said you needed this $4 or $5 card from this guy for your EDH deck.
Needed and wanted are interchangeable there. And I agree that they have two different definitions, and I should have said I wanted this card from
Right, but
my
I
EDH deck.
think
Here's the thing. I know that I can come to you, and since I have a great relationship with you and we've had many experiences over the many years, you're going to give me any EDH card I want.
Experiences in quotes.
I've never had
Shut
sex
up.
with the church. Fuck off. Like, that's really inappropriate. Like, for
I
the
didn't even say that you did.
You're an asshole.
All right. Moving on.
I know that I can get any card from you at price. I know I can get it at, like, you're not going to fuck me on it.
Well, I'll sell it to you at retail, yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's what I mean. Like, whereas, like, a shark, if I say a foil Yavimaya Coast, and he's like, what do you value? And I was like, I'd be willing to give $10. He'd take the whole fucking 10 from me when it's worth 6.
Well, to be fair, that interaction happened with me.
To be fair, when I asked Jur a price and he gives it to me, I know he's not going to screw me, so I let him. Like, if he wins on a trade, it's literally because he didn't know, not because he's trying to fuck me. I hope.
98% of the time, yeah.
Of course, when you're like trades these backsies, he's like, gotcha!
He's cute, so that 2% of the time doesn't matter.
Damn straight.
Hence the experiences in quotes.
Whoa. Whoa.
So your point is I needed a card.
Yeah, and anytime when I had an EDH deck and I needed a card, I was willing to give up a little value on it as well. Like, I had a foil Life from the Loam, and just
Needed it.
I needed it. My deck needed a Life from the Loam.
That
A
was
foil one.
Right. It needed it.
It needed it.
In my mind, it needed it. So
It was going to prom and it needed the foil left from the loan.
right at the time it was probably worth 10 or 12, and I probably traded for it at like 13, 14, 15, something like that. Probably 15, if we're being completely honest, because it needed it.
But the thing is, the things you traded away, you traded at for half value, so you took it anyway.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Just
And
say yes. That way you
more
sound
likely,
more baller.
I didn't even care because I was getting a card that I needed,
Right.
All right.
and that's what it all comes down to. Because when you need a card, the mentality is completely different. When I'm trading to trade, I just want to make sure that I'm getting value. And that's the bottom line. But when I'm trading for a card that I need or want even, I don't care what I give up as long as I get it in my collection. Like, I traded for some Winter Factories at Gen Con. I didn't care what I gave for them because I want them. I collect Mishra's Factories. Winter ones are hard to find. I don't care what the number he said he wanted them at. I was going to trade for him at that number.
Awesome.
My trade pickup for the week is Winter Mishra's Factories
To trade them to me.
to trade them to Jur.
Because
He said he would give 55 a piece on them.
they're worth 70.
He said he would give 75 a piece on them.
Yeah, I'll get 55 all day. Not a problem.
They're really worth that much?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Shout out to Tuna. He's our tech support.
God, Tuna set up our website and showed us how to upload a podcast.
In all fairness, it's not even up yet.
That's
no,
true.
I mean, we haven't put episode 1 up yet, but episode 2.5 will be up. We're hoping to do episode 1 tonight. Is that going to happen, Tuna?
Sure, why not?
Okay, episode 1's going to be up tonight, which is Friday, and episode 2.5 should be up. You should be listening to this on Wednesday. You're going to plug both of them, or just the one you're on, Jer?
I'm only talking about Untapped on my Twitters right now.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
Awkward.
Oh, did you want me to? I could add you, I guess, at the end. Do you guys have a Twitter for your podcast, right?
Yes, actually, we do.
Nope. We cannot
We
say
can
that
change
yet.
the handle.
Right, but we need to
So,
change the handle later.
yeah,
Until you guys
We'll
get
change the handle after the podcast
So
is over.
until you guys get
All
a
right.
handle, I can't tweet at you. So
All right, so we're
Sounds
coming up on the maximum time for our podcast.
And we
I
still
want-
have one more topic.
I want to keep it under the hour.
here's the thing.
I'm not talking
there's
about that. We're gonna
maximum
rapid fire
time
question.
because if the podcast is good, the end. It doesn't matter how long it is. What do you think about that? How about them?
I'm kind of
disagree.
jonesing to play some EDH right now.
I disagree because, well, I don't have my EDH deck.
Well, that sucks.
Jer picked me up at work and I left it in my car.
What is your EDH deck?
Riku 2 Reflections.
Okay.
Anyway, we're going to do some rapid fire questions, and if his answers
Oh, we're not going
aren't...
to talk about the heavy thing?
No, I feel like that's just going to be beaten to fucking death, and I really don't have anything to say about
No
it.
one said anything about it yet. It's new. It happened
Yeah.
yesterday.
Right,
All
I'm
right,
going to
let's
talk
give-
about
Let's
it.
give it 15 minutes.
All
Yeah.
right, fine. All right, so yesterday Drew Levin unleashed on... What cast was he on?
He was on Crazy Talk.
Crazy Talk, which is one of John Medina's podcasts, who's another great friend of mine.
Oh, that's his podcast too. I don't listen to casts. 'cause I'm
Medina
an
has
idiot,
like
so-
7 podcasts.
Yeah, who can keep up?
He's a little whore for podcasts.
Medina is a podcast whore. His podcast hole is loose.
Yeah. And he loves it. He loves every minute of it.
And he advertises it. It's like that girl that advertises what sorority boys she's been with.
Right. Same. Yeah, exactly. Same thing.
I know that girl.
Excellent.
All right.
Can't believe we're going to post that, but we're going to because it's not that bad. And on this
Much
podcast,
better.
Drew Levin comes on there. He showed up. He whips out his big...
Hang on. He shows up halfway through the podcast.
First of all, he shows up halfway late to the podcast.
Was he both high and drunk?
Unconfirmed.
I would say that he was probably sober. I don't know Drew to get high or drunk because he's
Neither
under.
do I, but I just wanted to make it more dramatic.
Well, his birthday was yesterday, so he
Did he
could have
turn
been
21?
drunk. Yeah, he could have been drunk.
He could have been drunk.
He could
He
have
was
been. To be
drunk.
fair-
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
To be fair, do you hang out with Drew Levin that often?
He stayed at my house for SCD Cincinnati.
Oh shit, that's legit.
But
MTG
before,
at legit MTG.
but before that, we really hadn't had much interaction.
Did you guys make
if at
any
all.
prop bets while you were there about like somebody making potentially top 8 of a tournament?
I cannot disclose that information.
Okay, Wesco's not here.
He might listen.
Doubt it.
God, can I tell you guys that I was in the same location as Wesco, and I got to Wesco check Wesco. It felt so good.
You're the biggest troll. All right.
He hated me for it.
All right.
Anyway, Drew Levin gets on his podcast. He decides to put his big boy shorts on and accuse one Alex
What are big boy
Bertoncini.
shirts or shorts?
Big boy shorts are the shorts that you buy when your dick is too big to fit into your little boy panties.
Okay.
And so you put
I
those
just want the visual.
you put those things
Did
on.
you?
You put
Yeah.
those things on so your big accusatory cock fits inside these underwear.
Oh, we were going so well. We had such a good podcast going.
And what Drew did was accuse Alex Bertoncini of cheating at a
Can I-
Magic tournament.
Can I just say?
Dun dun dun. Yes, sir.
All right. So we're all familiar with the Wesco check, correct? We all know
Yeah,
how that
yeah.
arrived.
Right.
So, do you know who Drew Levin was betting with that he would make?
Wait a minute. Oh, time out. I didn't realize that the Wesco check was on Drew Levin.
Yes, that's why
Yeah.
it was funny.
Yes.
Oh, man. How
Yeah,
full
he
is
was
this
betting.
circle?
I think you might be the only one who doesn't know that. All right. So, Levin was actually betting with Bertoncini that he would make that top 8.
Why didn't
So-
Bertoncini
Oh,
get exiled?
are they good acquaintances?
From my understanding, they were they were at least acquaintances and probably friends at some point in time.
I know that I wouldn't bet with anybody but a friend.
Exactly.
Oh my.
So
This has turned way serious and very sad.
It's not sad. It's just that is
J Cal.
This is how a friendship is destroyed. I feel like I want to hug you two right now.
J Cal is against this podcast being anything but completely asinine and humorous.
Which is fine. I completely stand by that. That's a great premise. But if we're going to talk about Bertoncini being allegedly, we don't know anything for sure, being a cheater, that's a serious topic. And if we don't want to talk about it, that's fine.
Here's
I would
the thing.
like to talk about it.
Drew has a lot of information on this. Tell me about the links that Drew Levin posted on his Twitter feed.
Okay, so the link that I know about...
Time out. Real quick. We're shamelessly plugging Twitter feeds on this cast all the time. What is Drew Levin's Twitter feed?
Hang on, let me check real quick. I don't want to get it wrong.
Okay, you tell the story and I'll check because I'm pretty sure I follow him.
I know I
I know I don't, so...
He hasn't posted much today, so it'd be a little awkward. All right, so the link that I know about that he posted for sure deals with a Reanimator deck. When he was Drew_11.
DREU_LE.
DREU? It's a W.
DREW_LEVIN.
All right, thank you.
The drunken cast is getting better and better.
All right.
Listen,
So the link that I know about he posted for sure
drunk.
was when Bertoncini was playing Merfolk, as he always does, in the Swiss of an SCG Open.
The Swiss.
All right, and then
Way too much work.
are we gonna podcast or are we gonna talk to our friends?
Here's the thing, J Cal. Tuna's voice has too much bass for you to talk to him off camera. Well,
They
Tuna
both have the
responded.
same boat.
Yeah, they're both of their
Two
voice.
horns on the same goat.
What?
Right, and they have too much bass for you to talk to them off podcast because they'll always resonate into the microphone.
Yeah, that's
All right,
sad. I
so-
just wanted more drink.
So Levin posted a link to a video of a feature match. I don't know which SCG, but he was playing Fish against Reanimator. And at the time, Fish had no real main deck answer to a Platinum Angel. They couldn't beat a Platinum Angel because they had no way to steal it, no way to kill it. Days before Dismember. So this Reanimator deck that he was playing against played main deck Platinum Angel for this reason.
Gotcha.
We see Bertoncini's main deck has no way to deal with it. However, on the second turn, I believe it was the second turn, could have been the second, could have been the third. In the early games of the turn, it's noted that he draws. What?
I just got real drunk all of a sudden. I just realized how drunk I was.
He draws a Sower of Temptation main deck on the first game.
That's
This
a
is on
fairy,
video?
not a
I didn't
fish.
know this was on
This is on video.
That's a fairy.
What's that?
Sower of Temptation is a creature dash fairy. It's not creature dash Merfolk.
But it is a popular Merfolk sideboard card, or was at the time.
It was a sideboard card?
Yes.
You sure nobody ever played it in their main deck?
Well, he also linked to the deck list because he top 8'd that event, and Bertoncini had no main deck Sowers.
This evidence seems pretty hard.
It's damning, but at the same time,
It
I
sounds-
know I've had friends who have played games who have drawn sideboard cards game one and not called the judge.
Hold on.
Listen,
I'm gonna double down here.
Okay.
I know of a guy by the name of Jack Grannon
Yeah.
from this podcast who played in a feature match off camera against Bertoncini,
Yeah.
who had a sideboard card in his main deck in game one, and Bertoncini double appealed to the head judge to get Jack the game loss.
Well,
For
Are you
that.
fucking with me?
No, that's completely true. Ask Jack.
Are you allowed to say fucking on the internet without
Yes.
censoring it?
well, you've done it many times in this podcast.
So
So,
wait.
so here's the thing.
All
All I have to
Anything on the internet?
Right.
all I have to say to that is,
There's no internet.
if you cheat, you know how to catch a cheater.
Call the
Right.
internet police.
I mean, I'm not saying Bertoncini is a cheater, but all I know is that the evidence is against him. He's got very little support on his side from what I've seen. No one's really standing up for him
Right.
at this point.
Well, the problem is if one person posts a video of let's say it's you.
Right.
If somebody posts a video clearly of you cheating.
Yep.
If I post 10,000 videos of you playing fair games where you don't cheat, it doesn't matter because you can't prove that you're not a cheater.
The actual rebuttal would be of him cheating against himself, of him missing damage, of him, letting his opponent take something back because they missed something and he missed something. So that would be the rebuttal that they could post. If they could post something that shows Bertoncini missing something in the other direction and letting it go. Now, this Jack Grinning evidence is damning. I mean, it's the opposite of what Bertoncini needs.
I mean, that evidence is as hard as me.
I say we interview Jack Grannon next week on the podcast.
I mean, that's as hard as me as a Miss
This is
Teen
not gonna go
USA
well.
pageant.
There are no words.
That's how hard that evidence is.
There are no words. But I mean, we don't know all the evidence. The DCA hasn't investigated yet, and I'm willing to listen to both sides of the argument. All I know is at this point that Bertoncini doesn't have much ground to stand on. There's been rumors of him cheating ever since he won the back-to-back SCG Opens back before they were a big deal. 3 or 4 years ago.
But in all fairness, though, have you ever forgot to de-sideboard and shuffle your deck?
I've done it.
Yeah, have you done it?
I know.
I've done it once and I called it on myself because I'm a giant douchebag catch, but
you are fucking
like
vagina.
I would never. Yeah.
I've had a card exiled in a game, and then been playing the next game and seen the exiled card off to the side, so I know I have a 59 card deck and just played on. I've equipped a Shroud creature.
I know that I've Burning Wished when I was playing Enduring Ideal for Enduring Ideal to win the game, and it wasn't in my sideboard. Then I found another Burning Wish in my sideboard. So I presented a legal deck, but it was still not.
It was pre-sideboarded.
Right. Well, it wasn't pre-sideboarded. It was just game 1 to game 2. I wished for the Enduring Ideal game 1, forgot to de-sideboard. But when I was playing Wish decks, I would put the Wish in my sideboard.
Here's the thing: if you're on game 3, as long as the same 75 are there and 15 are set off to the side as your sideboard, you've presented an ideal deck, or not an ideal deck, a legal
Well, it wasn't
deck.
an ideal deck at the time. I was playing ideal, but it wasn't ideal.
Right, but you presented a legal deck.
I may have presented a legal deck, but it wasn't what I intended. I've also,
Here's the thing: the
not-
evidence against Bertoncini seems like it's as hard as a midget at a cheerleading convention.
God, I wish I knew a midget.
There are no words. What Taylor said. So, I mean, we have time for Bertoncini to defend himself. We're going to see where it goes, where it ends up. All I know is that he needs to start standing up for himself. Otherwise, this is going to just spiral out of control.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing.
Yeah, he'll be the next Mike Long.
If Bertoncini...
What's the guy's name? The last guy that was suspended from the SCG Open. Mike Posgay.
Posgay.
Yeah, he'll be
God,
Mike
I hate
Posgay.
that guy. What a
Here's the
jerk.
thing.
I've heard he doesn't return cards either.
If Bertoncini...
It's
We're not even
completely
going to get into
boundless.
Posgay because that's a whole other topic where
whole
there's a
other
lot
topic.
of hearsay. So,
But
we'll
hearsay's
troll
the
him
most
when he
fun.
comes back
Yeah.
onto the SCG circuit.
Hopefully never.
well, we have here's the
No,
thing.
here's the thing. I'm the host of The Bridge, and I say we're going to troll Posgay when he comes back onto the circuit.
Oh, Posgay, that's fine. You can do whatever you want to Posgay. He's already a confirmed cheater. But Bertoncini, we see evidence that he's a cheater.
Right?
But until the DCI investigates, does the whole thing, catches him, I mean, this might be enough for him to never cheat again.
Here's the thing. Here's two things are going to happen when Bertoncini comes to defend himself. He's either going to become, well, I'm going to call him the tranny cheerleader, because either that midget's going to get flaccid and get soft, or that midget's going to get harder.
That's not making any sense.
I will say that I'm lost. Hang
If
on.
the midget,
I'm going to let Jay Cal try and explain that.
I think what he's trying to say is either he's gonna stop cheating or he's gonna become better at it.
no, if the midget's at a cheerleading convention,
I don't want to hear your little hyperbole metaphor. All I want to know is
no,
what you
this
mean.
is funny shit.
Straight.
It is not fun.
Shut up. This is.
I don't want to hear about erect midgets.
Shut up.
I don't want to hear about erect midgets. That's the bottom line.
The midget's
In that
walking-
case, don't watch Game of Thrones on HBO. Zero
Really?
the midget that's erect all the time.
Shout out to Game of Thrones.
That show is so good.
Do you have the Twitter handle for Game of Thrones?
No.
All right, here's how the midget
At
hyperbole
Game of
works.
Thrones. I'm just gonna gamble.
The midget hyperbole works like this: if a midget's walking around a cheerleading convention, he's going to be hard. If he finds a tranny cheerleader, he's either into trannies and going to become harder, or not into trannies and become flaccid instantly.
I think that the midget should just be replaced with you.
You're kind of short.
And
You do look like a hobbit.
And I do love trannies.
So there you go. Call it what you will.
Yeah, I kind of hope that he's not a cheater personally, because it makes me sad. You know, each time I find out that another person that is actually successful is
Because here's the thing: I've actually interacted with Bertoncini, and I don't think he's that bad of a guy.
Yeah, he seems like a good guy. That's what hurts.
Right. Exactly.
And that's when it hurt. That's when
I've interacted with a whore before, and she didn't seem like that bad of a girl.
I don't see anything wrong with that. You gotta make your money. You know.
I mean, I've met your mom too, but
Whoa!
Christine Gunn is a saint.
I'm just kidding, Taylor's mom.
All right. So we covered that topic. We actually gave it about 50 minutes exactly.
Yeah.
All right, can we do rapid fire now for you?
Whatever
on
you want. Let's
All right,
do it.
you're my guest on the podcast. All right, first question: is pimpin' easy?
Yes.
Pimpin' is easy.
What the fuck? This is the dumbest thing.
Fuck you, Jake. I just want to know
I just
that
hope these
Jake
questions get better.
Jake puts zero effort in this podcast. He shows up and free balls it every week, whereas I actually think about it because it's my podcast.
There's a
Fuck
little-
you, Jake.
I did pay for the website though.
There's a little rage here, a little anger.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
we hug it out later.
To be fair, Jake paid for the website, and we're gonna hug it out later. What financial writer do you want to trade with?
Okay, this is an interesting question, and I'm gonna have to answer your question with more than just a name. Is that fair?
Hold on,
Yes.
can I jump in?
Yeah.
Is it going to be the people from Quiet Speculation because Kelly Reed is bad and you know you'll take him for everything he's worth?
I don't want to trade Kelly Reed.
All right, I'm going to expand the question, but I think it's going to help to your advantage.
Okay.
What financial writer do you want to trade with, and what does he have in his binder that you want to acquire?
Well, here's the thing. I want to trade with Ryan Bouchard, and not just because he's another Gathering Magic writer, but because he is someone who I know and respect, and I know that he respects me as well. So we're not going to try and sit there and shark each other for 3 hours to work out a $20 trade. That we can trade $300 worth of cards and be within $3 or $4 of each other because we'll do buy list. We'll just buy list each other, and that's fine. I would rather trade with sharks who aren't trying to shark me. Like, I know sharks who are just going to sit there and try and edge out every dollar on every trade and waste 2 hours of my life on a $50 trade. And that's just not something I'm interested in doing.
Can I ask you a follow-up question?
Sure.
Because that poses an interesting thing for me. All right. So, every trade has a profit value to it.
Negative or positive, sure.
Negative
Yeah.
or positive,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Money is going to go somewhere.
Yep.
It's hard to make a really perfect trade where nothing's happening.
Or it's just some zero for both parties.
Right. It's
Yeah.
just a push.
That's almost impossible.
Nearly impossible. How much time? What's your time versus percentage willingness? Like, are you willing to spend 3 hours if you're only gonna hook up with 5%? I mean, obviously,
if it's a 5% of $1,000, sure.
Okay, so what's your time versus dollar?
Like 3
projection?
hours for $50 seems loose.
That
That's
is
only like
true.
$15 an hour. I mean,
that's
you could work for that.
it depends on the $1,000 of cards I'm picking up. I'm trading
It's really
standard
hard
for,
to work for that, J. Cal.
I wouldn't know.
All right. If I'm trading for like standard to legacy or standard to vintage, and it's that 5%, I'm still getting value. Sure, I'll work for
Are
it.
you taking in the vintage or taking in the standard?
If I'm taking in the vintage,
Okay.
because I know that when I trade the vintage away, I'll make money then too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
I mean, okay, so. Alright. Follow up to the follow up.
okay.
What are the tiers? Obviously, standard to vintage is like a jump from tier 1, which is to 3, which is like the highest level, like the highest value tier where like you're always gonna lose value trading your vintage away. Or no, wait a minute.
That's not
Time
true.
out. I misspoke.
Okay.
You're always gonna lose. You're 90% of the time you're going to lose value trading for vintage staples. Power.
It depends on how you define value, because vintage card power is never going to be worth. It's not going to lose nearly as much value as a standard card is going to be worth. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So like you're gonna trade like.
I'm
6 or
talking
7
about
okay.
actual dollar value at the very second that you make the trade.
You will lose. You're going to lose some value.
Okay, so what are the tiers on value as far as that's concerned? As far as like vintage to legacy to modern to standard, what's that look like for you?
As far as like how much value you might have to give up trading format to format.
Right. I guess that's the question.
Like legacy and vintage are on the same scale until you get to power.
Okay, so like a vintage staple, like a time vault, which is not considered power, but it's like the 10th power right now.
It's in the same conversation.
Would you? All right, is time vault the 10th power? Or is library the 10th power?
Library is so out of touch with vintage right now. I mean, it gets played, but it's not.
All right, so time vault's the 10th power.
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so like a time vault if you're trading a time vault or legacy for time vault,
You're in the
how
same
much
ballpark.
percentage are you willing to lose?
I mean, what am I? Am I trading away natural orders, or am I
Duels.
trading a duel? Like duels, I wouldn't be willing to lose that much, if any.
Are duels the holy grail of legacy right now?
Duels are they're duels. They're the holy grail of every format because they're vintage playable and they're legacy playable.
Okay,
They cross formats.
right.
So if I was trading duels to time vaults,
You wouldn't want to lose
specifically if
percentage.
I was losing blue duels, if I was trading blue duels to time vaults, I wouldn't want to lose value.
What if you had one anchor blue duel? And here's if you don't understand these terms, guys, I recommend that you go read John Wade's articles. Do you go by John Wade on
J.R.
Gathering Magic?
Wade.
J.R. Wade's articles on Gathering Magic and Medina's articles on Star City.
Yeah.
So if you have an
He goes
anchor,
by Jonathan.
And Ryan Bouchard, that guy, he's a sharp guy. I mean, I'm not just saying I want to trade with him because I think I'd take advantage of him. Because I can't.
Right.
I'm not trying to. I would trade with him because I don't feel like I'm wasting my time with him.
right? All right. So the ultimate is it goes like this: power, underpower, which is like time vaults. What else falls in the underpower?
Duels.
Yeah, blue duel, any duels really.
All right. So power, blue duels,
And,
duel,
yeah,
other duels.
Yeah.
What's below other duels?
You got Tarmogoyfs.
Natural orders,
Natural
Bobs.
Orders, Targok Finance, yeah. Like format staples. I'm just trying to.
Click.
Well, now it is.
Right.
That's a very recent development, and I'm not
Oops.
sure if that's part of the modern bubble. I mean, they're 45 in Star City right now.
Can we have you make a call on our podcast?
What would you like me to make a call about?
Is Vidillion Click part of the modern bubble, or is it a staple?
Vendinian Click is very good, but at the same time, it doesn't see widespread modern play. Or not modern. I'm sorry. Widespread legacy play. It probably see much more play in modern than it does in legacy. So, yes, it is part of the modern bubble.
Is it going to be worth $30 in 3 months?
$30 easy. Yeah,
Okay,
Well-
Vidillion Click is not part of the modern bubble.
it is.
And here's me. This is me personally, Taylor Gunn, making the call that the modern bubble is going to burst in 3 months.
It will, but it would have to drop $15 because it's 45 right now.
Holy fucking shit! Is it? I thought it was our 30.
It's 45.
Oh fuck my life.
Uh,
Retract previous statements. Vidillion Click.
So it very well could be worth $30 in 3 months.
You want to trade me your clicks?
I'll trade you the tip of my cock in your mouth.
Clicks are 35 on Star City right now.
Are they?
Yes.
All right. I was
I'll
They have
misinformed.
7 in
Trade
stock.
mine to Jer for 45.
They have 7 in stock still.
I was misinformed.
They're 35 on.
They're 35 in Star City.
Is that a Star City?
Could you
price?
check Channel Fireball?
Yes. They also have.
Shout out to
Russian copies
LSV.
for 45.
Maybe that's what I was. Okay,
Yeah.
that may have been what I said.
All right, fair enough. So, all right, so we got power, time vault, blue duels,
Legacy
Bob's.
staples.
Bobs, Tarmogoyfs, Vidillion Clicks, Wastelands, Force of Wills,
I mean, I would
shit
put,
like that.
I'd put Wasteland and Force Wills above Vendinian Click.
Okay, I mean, all right. I mean, that's a big.
And then
That's a big chunk right
Onslaught fetches would be in that category
there.
as
Onslaught
well.
fetch or below that, or in that category.
In that category, in the same conversation.
Channel
Okay, so
Fireball
you
has,
wouldn't.
20 in stock at 40.
Okay. So 35, 40. Yeah, there
right.
you go.
All right, so so this is I think this is stuff that sharks know that normal people don't know. So like
There's no reason for them not to know though.
there's plenty of reason not to know.
It-
I don't have the kind of time to sit around and both research the formats I want to play and the prices of the cards in the formats I want to play.
If you're going to trade and you're going to engage in a trade with someone who knows what they're doing, you have to do the homework. There's no reason not to do the homework. You have all the same information that I have.
You're making the same argument that WoW players make because like here's what happened to
Where
WoW.
is this analogy going?
Yeah, I'm
All right,
curious.
do you remember back
I
in
play
WoW?
I'm a
Do you
huge
remember
nerd.
back? All right, Jake Howe used to be a WoW player, correct?
True.
All right. So back in the days of WoW, before there were level 90 characters, people were complaining because whoever put in the most time had the best shit, right?
Right. But I think that they're
This is the
bullshit.
same problem.
Yeah. People that put in the most time should have the best shit. Period.
Okay, so you're with Jur on this one.
Yes.
I'm against Jur on this one. I don't think it should cost you $1 billion to trade and to play your format. What sharks are
It's
doing
not.
is they're
It's only
making it.
costing you that much if you don't want to get taken.
Here's the thing: I'm willing to be taken for a certain percentage, but it's becoming more and more often I'm being taken for a higher and higher
Do
percentage.
you have a smartphone?
Yeah, there's nothing stopping you from whipping out your smartphone and just trading. Like you can do an Apathy House trade. You can just do Star City offers that service as well. I mean, you can just.
All right. Here's a great question, because my ultimate thing that I want to get out of JR for being on this podcast is what is the best way to not shark a shark? And when I asked him if I could ask him this, he was like, "I'm not gonna tell you that. Like, it's my business."
No.
And so that's fine. No, I understand. That's your business.
No, the bottom line is you can't shark a shark. You don't shark sharks. Like,
What's
as
your
a
worst
shark,
nightmare?
I don't try and shark sharks.
What's your worst nightmare for a trader? Is your worst nightmare him looking up every card?
No, because like I just know that I'm going to get an even value trade. It's going to be as close to a sum zero trade as I can get, and as long as I'm trading like standard for legacy at a sum zero, fine.
How do I engage him? How do I? It takes time to look up these cards,
Right.
and the longer you take in a shark's time, the less value he's getting. Because at an event, sharks are working hard.
Yeah.
They are making X dollars at that event.
They're trying to.
They're trying to grade as many trades as they can.
Sure.
So how do I make sure that he stays engaged?
I mean, here's the thing. You can choose not to engage with sharks because you know who they are. I mean, you know personally who they are.
I personally know who they are, but there's a lot of people. Here's the thing: I know when I'm engaging with a shark, even if I didn't know before I opened his binder that he was a shark.
But you can figure that out
Very quickly.
very quickly, even if you're a layman and new to the scene. If someone starts spouting off prices and you start feeling like maybe
Very
something's-
intimidated.
Yeah.
If you ever
Like
feel
you're about to get
intimidated,
eaten.
if you feel very
There's blood in
intimidated
the
in a
water.
trade, don't engage.
You never have to engage in a trade. There's nothing saying if you start a trade with somebody, you can close your trade binder anytime and say, I gotta go, I have to meet somebody. There's 1,000 excuses to get out of a trade.
Since this podcast is about trolling, the best thing to do is to get as many cards physically out of their binder as possible, and then say you have to go.
You are the worst kind of person.
The best is to grab them as you're leaving and carry them with you.
All right, that's
That'll get
poor.
you tackled.
I don't condone stealing. All right,
I don't condone it.
all right.
Just
So we got
recommend it
this.
for value.
All right, let's talk about the converse. Somebody's out there and they want to become a value trader or a shark. What steps would you say that a person needs to become a shark?
Read buy lists.
I mean,
Do you want to memorize Star City and Channel Fireball's buy list?
you need that, and you need find magic cards. You need eBay. Like you need a good frame of reference for the different ins and outs of cards. Ins and outs. Ins is buy list, outs is retail. So you just need a good frame of reference for all these things. if you're serious about value trading, seek out people in your area who you think are good value traders. Ask them questions. Hang out with them. See what they do. Um, I'm available on Twitter. Medina's available on Twitter. Ryan Bouchard's available on Twitter. We'll all answer your questions. Like, we're not shy people. We're very upfront about what we do. We're not a secret society or anything. We'll just answer your. You have a question, we'll answer it. We're not trying to be sneaky or sharky in any way. All right, we're sharky is a variable term, but we're not sneaky. We're very upfront. I write articles about what I do. Medina writes articles about what we do. Ryan Bouchard's write articles about what we do. If you don't know what we do, that's on you.
So I think that it'd be kind of nice if you guys were to sit down with somebody, size them up, and before you even open their binder, be like, I plan on taking you for X amount of dollars.
Here's the thing: if they're an untouchable, as that's a Medina.
Oh, I
term.
know the Untouchables. Yeah.
So I don't.
Outline for our listeners: Untouchables are
people who have been in the game either under a year, under 6 months, depending on your standard.
Right.
What's your standard?
I usually do under a year, but sometimes they catch on real quick, and they're in it within a year, or people who are under the age of about 16, because they seem to know less as a general population than people who are more informed. So I try and keep it to people who are above 16, people who have been in the game for longer than a year.
Do you give Untouchables value?
I've given
I gave an Untouchable value on a foil Swiftfoot boots. I gave him 2 Phyrexian Metamorphs. He didn't need the foil Swiftfoot boots, but I want him to come back to the store because he was an adult Untouchable, so I knew he was gonna
he's
potentially be an awesome player.
He's new, so I give cards away. Like, I was trading with this group of guys. They were all between 16 and 18, and they had their younger brother with them. I just gave their younger brother an Emrakul. Why not? Like, what's the worst that's going to happen? You're losing, $15. You've made more than that in the day. You don't care. Like, I made this kid's day. Like, he was actually looking for a card that I was trying to trade for his Guafa Hazard because I wanted a Klug to alter it, to put my face on it, which happened. But I was just trying to find a card. He was looking for a card to sell to a dealer, so I was just trying to give him value. And I gave him this Emrakul, and he was like, well, I can't sell this now. I wanted this card. Which was awesome. I felt great because I gave him this card that he wanted.
That's awesome.
So I got a question. If you could possibly make my day.
Okay.
When we post this, I would like there to be a giveaway of some cheap card, less than $5.
Oh, God, you went there.
The first person to at the juror.
Do you not own Magic cards? I don't understand.
Well,
all right. Here's the thing. I'm gonna say I will give away a regular Reliquary Tower, English, non-foil print. If you want to up the stakes,
I refuse.
You can. If you want to make it,
if you're not gonna up the stakes, then I'm not gonna up the stakes.
If you want to make a better, if you want to put a better EH card out there, I'm gonna take.
I'm the guest, exactly.
I'm gonna
take. Why would I?
I'm gonna take the Reliquary Tower out of my deck, and if you know about this, I'm gonna take the first 50 tweets at me.
Which is the very first one to you. No,
all
I'm
right.
just gonna text it to you so I can get it.
I will slap the fuck out of you. The first tweet to me, which is at NIRIENGUN, Nerian Gun.
You don't have 2 N's?
Nope, just 1 N on my Twitter handle.
All right, fair enough.
I will send them a Reliquary Tower. Unless Jur wants to up me, I'll pay for the shipping, Jur, if you up that.
Oh, if you pay for the shipping, I'll do something.
Alright, I'm paying for the shipping. What's your up, J. Cal? You've got a sick EDH deck that you need to take apart.
My deck is fun.
Fuck you.
It's not fun.
It was fun until about.
What's your up? What's your up?
What card should I up? I'm failing to think of a card right now.
Capture of Shinzao.
No, not a chance. I'll find something in my binder that's worth about 5.
Okay. An EDH card.
I'll throw
Sure
in a
enough.
Koth.
Oh, fuck.
Whoa. Okay, I'll
All right.
probably do something a little bit better than 5 then if Jura's going to be like that.
I'll give a Koth to whoever wins the Nerian Gun at tweet competition.
First tweet to me saying.
What do they have to say?
They have to list the 3 cards we're giving away.
So
but
it's
we don't know
giving-
what mine
Reliquary
is.
Tower.
You know my binder. What's in there?
Go get your binder,
Okay.
and I'm gonna pick a card out of it because you're a fag.
Yeah, obviously.
I'm allowed to say that because I've sucked enough dick.
What?
That's the kind of podcast this is. All right, while J Cal's gone, I want to talk about shark culture.
What do you
Do
want to know?
Do you guys talk to each other?
Yeah, of course.
Even the ones that don't write.
Yes. Those are the ones. I mean, they're all part of the culture. We know who each other are. Like before, I mean, I hang out with this guy named Igor. Like, I can't trade with him very often, but he's a good guy to know. He's got a lot of information.
Okay. So there's information being exchanged amongst the sharks that's separate from the information that you and Medina give out in your trade articles.
What about a playset of daisies?
Whoa. Oh, playset of daisies it is. That sounds really good. That's an $8 value.
Hang on, let me look through this real quick. What if it's a Bayou?
Not Bayou.
It's pretty mint.
Alright, so is there information that's floating around shark culture that isn't in common culture?
I mean,
Do you have information that we don't have? Because
the
that's what it's all about, is it not?
the information that we have is derived from the information that you have. It's just we might glean different things from that information than you do. We don't have an inside track most of the time. Sometimes, we'll have a pro ship us a list before a pro tour and be like, you should really get out these cards, and we'll take that information. But most of the time, it's just we're looking at the same deck list you guys are looking at. We're just deriving different information than you guys are.
Well, I have a question. Like, let's say Kibler sends you a list randomly, okay?
Yeah, if he just randomly gets my email, it's like, hey,
Right.
this person I've never met before.
I'm trying to make this as unlikely as possible.
Okay, this would be a very.
And
This would be
he
very
finds out that
I know that this happens,
That some
by
X
the way.
card is going to be super hot.
Right.
He top eights. He's the only person playing it. The card jumps from like a 50-cent card to a $15 to $20 card in a couple weeks.
That would be unlikely.
It
Right.
does a dark depths.
Right. So like you make a killing on that. Do you give him a kickback
Generally,
for tipping you off?
when someone gives me a list of cards for a tournament, that means they're looking for the cards to play with. So, the kickback would be to me for giving them the cards they need to play with. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I already did it. I already said 4 days, unless you think that's not good enough.
4 days is fine. That's like $12.
Was it days worth $3?
Retail.
I sold legit MTG my days for $1 last night.
That's the buy list.
Yeah, I picked all mine up for $1, so.
Give away this Volk.
I hate you guys. Alright.
I mean, I've got 2.
Right, exactly. Let me
Okay.
see the condition of this guy.
Oh god, I'm too drunk to
Okay,
remember how
let's
we
do shout-outs.
do we wrap the podcast
Yeah,
with shout-outs?
shout-outs. I'll go first. Shout-outs to Rocky Harris, local superstar,
You're the worst kind of person.
genuine great guy, best-looking guy in a jersey I've ever seen. I would really like him on the podcast.
He has back knee.
Why are you being mean to my buddy Rocky?
Because I hate
Because
that
he's
man.
not your buddy.
That's true.
And he's
I
had more
also
gay
want to give a
sex than
shout
you.
out to Jack Grannon. Hopefully he wins a Grand Prix.
Yeah, he's at PT or at Grand Prix Pittsburgh right now. That's where we're podcasting without him.
And I'll give it to
No, him, Taylor first.
Okay.
I'm the guest. I'll go last.
you go last.
All right, my shout-outs are to Jonathan Medina, who's one of my great mentors in many ways beyond Magic the Gathering. The guy's a cool guy. He acts in a completely upstanding way at all times, and I admire that about him. You can follow him at MTGMedina on Twitter. I highly recommend it. He's also a premium writer on Star City Games, and I recommend that you engage in Star City Games Premium because it's worth it. And I read it. I read it a lot for all the great content they have. But I also read Gathering Magic for all their free content.
That's right. All right, so I have a lot of shameless promotions. I have myself at Untappedcast, who I'm a regular there most of the time. We're trying to kick that back off. Also at Legit MTG, we should be starting up our deal of the day here. Hopefully mid-September, might be a little earlier. You know, you want to follow us just because when we started up, you don't want to miss out on our sweet deals of the day.
Those have already happened, and they discontinued them, and they're going to restart them.
That's
just so
right.
you know.
Yep.
It's not that they're starting up. They took a poke at this already.
Yeah, and it was very
It was like
successful.
a pig in a poke.
Yeah,
I just wanted to say
whatever
it.
that means.
I don't know what it means, but I know people say it.
Yeah, I know what they say
Pig in
too.
a poke?
What does it mean?
Is that a bestiality reference?
Whoa,
No.
I wouldn't.
No!
I wouldn't poke a pig to save my life. They're mean.
All right.
Confirm or deny, J. Cal. Pigs are mean.
They're not, but they're really loud.
Also, shout out to my
They're
Twitter.
all screamers.
Shout out to my Twitter at the Juror with 3 R's. That is at THEJRRR. And let's see here. Other shout outs. Shout out to my podcast at Untappedcast.
You already did that one.
I know that, but the individuals who are on it: Frank Lepore, Jonathan Dina, Trick Jarrett. They're
Trick
great guys.
Jarrett
I mean,
is
2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Here's the thing. Trick Jarrett is a great guy. When I met him at Gen Con, all he did was look at me like I was crazy. I was never formally introduced to him. All I did was walk up on him as he was cubing or EDHing with Jur. And every time I did, I would engage with Jur, and he would look at me like, what is this fucking nut job
I
talking
think
to
he
Jur
actually
for?
said, "Who the fuck are you?" to me, which made me feel special because he acknowledged that I was there.
He didn't acknowledge my existence at all. But I still love him.
Yeah, Trick Jarrett's a baller. He's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
Let's see.
I'm just trolling him because it's funny.
Other shout outs.
Not because I hate
other
him.
shout outs.
Oh God! Let's do Klug Alters. Klug, what's your Twitter handle?
Klug_alters.
So it's at KLUG_ALTERS
Good job.
at Klug Alters, and if I want to find you on the internet, it's KLUGALTERS .blogspot.com.
Here's the
Oh
thing.
my
If you
God.
just Google Klug Alters, he's the first hit.
Are you sure?
Actually,
Positive.
here's what I want you to do. I want you to Google Eric Klug and hit images.
Good job.
All right.
That's the best
I'll
thing
give a girlfriend plug to my girlfriend Marissa because she puts up with these shenanigans.
to do. Does she have a Twitter?
She does.
Marissa, what's your
But
Twitter?
she's not very active on it. What is your Twitter, Marissa? You don't know what your Twitter is? I'm gonna
Here's
look
the
it up.
thing. We want to find out Marissa. We want to give Marissa Twitter followers because she engages in this shit and
She's a good sport.
she games with us on occasion.
I lost a follower? Oh my god. I was
This isn't even live. How do they know you were on?
I said
God.
361 early today.
Come
I'm
on,
at- I'm
come
at
on the
360
bridge.
now.
Come on the bridge. You're gonna lose a follower.
Yeah, that's right. Oh man, that's funny.
Oh man, I want to thank you for making this the longest bridge ever.
Good. I hope the next time I come on,
Yeah.
it's even longer.
Of 2.5 episodes, this is the longest.
Here's the thing. I could keep going for another hour and a half.
I mean, we probably
That's only
could
because you
together,
could
yeah.
keep sucking dick for that long.
Well, Jer does not suck dick.
I don't.
He wouldn't like it. Like the receiver of the blowjob wouldn't like it because he's kind of scruffy.
Quit.
Kind of scruffy and I bite.
No, oh God!
Whoa.
Don't
And on
tell
that
me.
note, good night, everyone.
No, whoa! Thanks for crossing the bridge.
Thanks everybody. Good night.
Oh man, I wanted to do that same sound bit that we did last time.
Fuck! Now you've ruined the ending. Thanks
Good.
for crossing the bridge.
Whatever, I'm just ending.
It's my podcast.
Thanks for crossing the bridge. The end.